Fear is the path to the dark side.
Speak out against your bosses when you see them abusing someone in plain sight. That's why when former State Department spokesperson P.J. Crowley called the treatment of WikiLeaks informant Bradley Manning, quote, ridiculous and counterproductive and stupid on the part of the Department of Defense, close quote, he was being very courageous. Clearly, this man's morals are untouchable. That's why we will ask Mr. Crowley if he thinks Secretary of State Hillary Clinton was too eager to go to war in Libya and too eager to fire him. Here now, former spokesperson and retired Army Air Force Colonel P.J. Crowley. Colonel, welcome back to Freedom Watch. A pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be here, Judge.
Do you stand by your characterization of the Defense Department's treatment of a person innocent until proven guilty, no matter the magnitude of the charges against him, Private First Class Bradley Manning?
Absolutely.
And what was the behavior on the part of the Defense Department that caused you to characterize it as stupid and ridiculous and counterproductive?
Well, first of all, I've seen firsthand the damage that WikiLeaks and the release has done to our country and to our national interest. What's different from, say, leaks that we've had in the past, 251,000 documents that touch on virtually every relationship that we have in the world. So as the scope and scale of this, it is properly being investigated, and I think looking forward to a prosecution that I certainly support. What I saw in the treatment of Bradley Manning was that in treating him that way, that harshly, that it was undercutting perceptions of the credibility and legitimacy of a prosecution that I support. And as you said, in our system of justice, you're presumed innocent until proven otherwise. So I spoke out the way I did, and I stand by my words.
Now, I know you were a Deputy Secretary of State, and you were an official of the government at the time you made this statement. And I'm sure there were thunderclaps inside the State Department when WikiLeaks revealed what it did. But in our system of government, isn't transparency and truth preferred over secrecy? Nobody died as a result of the WikiLeaks revelations. Am I correct?
Well, I don't speak too soon. And it's not, in terms of potential loss of life, it's not about our diplomats, who I think the cables, by and large, have shown that they're aggressively pursuing the national interest and doing so consistent with our laws and our values. But in those cables, there were conversations that we had with other leaders of countries,
right,
other activists around the world. Their lives and their careers have been put at risk by these revelations.
All right. Is your former boss, the Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, a warmonger? Did she talk President Obama into entering the United States in this civil war in Libya?
Look, I think that the Secretary gave her best advice to the President of the United States, and it's not for me to comment on what she told the President. I support the intervention because I see the need for political, economic, and social reform across the region, and to let Gaddafi turn his military weapons against his people, I think, carried the risk of taking this Arab Spring, as we're calling it, and grinding it to a halt. I think the situation in Egypt is very instructive. From the very outset,
right,
the Egyptian military told us we will not turn our guns on our people, and that was very decisive in the way that Egypt turned out.
I understand, Colonel, I understand, but how does the government decide which wars to enter and which not to enter? I mean, the Saudis are killing their people, the Bahraini government is killing its people, the Syrian president is killing its people, but we're friendly with those guys.
Well, I wouldn't say we're friendly with the Syrians. We have a lot of concerns about the Syrians, and rightfully so. But while we want to see economic, political, and social reform across the region, how these unfold will vary from country to country. You had one person, a street vendor in Tunisia, that literally lit a spark that has begun the transformation of the region. But Libya is not Yemen. Jordan is not Saudi Arabia. So country by country, we have to look at the specific circumstances and make a judgment.
I disagree with your political analysis, but my hat is off to you on your personal courage on the Bradley Manning issue. You're a whistleblower and you paid the price for it, and you're an example of what other people should reveal when they see crimes occurring in the government. Colonel Crowley, it's a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Judge.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.